Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Now we're going to discuss the latest archaeological discoveries that took place during the year 2023. Well, to shed more light on this, we have the pleasure to have this phono with our dear guest, Mr. Ihab Kamel, the historian and Egyptologist. Good morning and Happy New Year to you and to your family.
Thank you very much. Good morning and Happy New Year to you.
Hello?
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 Hello, Dr. Ihab. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can. Yes.
Dr. Ihab Kamel?
Hello?
Hello? Can you hear me? Yes, I can. Yes, okay. Happy New Year to you and to your family.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Very much.
Well, Ihab, now we are making a wrap up to the latest discoveries that took place through the year 2023, and especially the discoveries that took place in Saqqara district, not only in the year 2023, but the previous years also. So,
well, we have, yes. Well, actually, it was, Saqqara was a very lucky area with all the discoveries that took place in the past couple of years, especially that all the discoveries were important and they had attracted the attention of the whole world, especially the discoveries that were led by Dr. Zahi Hawass, discovering tombs that dates back to the Old Kingdom. We have to understand that the tombs of the Old Kingdom, it's very seldom that we would find them intact, or actually find them intact to the extent to find mummies. But actually the case here was that these tombs that dated back to the 5th dynasty, they were discovered intact, discovered with lots of artifacts, and one of them was discovered with the mummy intact, and this would be one of the very rare chances to have a mummy dating back to such an early period that would enable us to study mummification at such an early age. Yes, it's not a royal mummy, but still, it's a mummy of a nobleman. So basically,
Mr. Kamel, I'm sorry to interrupt you, but you're saying that some of the coffins were discovered with the mummies inside it.
Yes.
By this you mean that there were some coffins that were discovered without the mummies inside?
That was the case most of the time.
Yes.
Most of the time we used to find the sarcophagus empty.
Why is it empty, the coffins? Was it stolen or what happened?
Usually the mummy would be carrying some gold artifacts or some gold jewelry.
Yes.
So usually the coffin would, or the sarcophagus with the coffin inside would be the first target to the tomb robbers.
Yes.
And usually because this was considered to be a crime in ancient Egypt, so usually they used to get in the tomb quickly and get the mummy, steal the mummy, and they would take it away, and then they would hide someplace, and they start taking the jewelry that was usually stuck to the mummy because of the rattinge and the mummification oils that were put on it, and then they start taking the jewelry out quietly, and then they would burn the mummy afterwards because it was of no value to them, or maybe to cover up for the crime that they had done, which was a major crime in ancient Egypt.
Yes. And they don't want anybody to discover their crime,
exactly.
So they burn it.
They don't need to keep an evidence.
Yes.
Okay, and especially after the fall of the Old Kingdom, during the first intermediate period, lots of people had started robbing the tombs, especially the royal tombs, and that explains why we did not find the mummies of the kings of the Old Kingdom, and especially the great kings like King Khufu or King Khafra or King Menkaura, and the other kings. So that's because of the tomb robbery. Also, Saqqara is considered to be the biggest archaeological site in Egypt, the biggest cemetery. It's enough for you to imagine that extends it extends all the way from Giza up to the village of Mazrouna South. That's near Fayoum. So you're talking about a necropolis or a cemetery that's occupying around 60 square kilometers. It's huge, and I believe that still, despite of all these discoveries, Saqqara did not reveal everything that is in there yet. Also, I believe that Saqqara is the only place which had tombs that covered all the historical periods of ancient Egypt, starting from the Second Dynasty up till the late period.
Yes, yes. So, Mr. Ihab Kamel, when the first coffins were discovered in Saqqara years ago, they found the coffins in a tunnel 11 meters under the ground. So give us an idea, the discoveries of the year 2023 was the same situation?
Yes, you're talking about the discovery that was discovered in what we know as the Persian shafts. By the way, the Persian shafts, they date back, or the discovery or the excavations, they started very early. They go as early as the 19th century. Many people worked there. Marriott worked there. Jean-Paul Louer had worked there. But the discovery, the latest discovery by all means, was the biggest, discovering tombs which are really unique, dating back to a vague period in the Egyptian history, which is the Persian period, dating back to the 6th century BC, exactly the year 525. At that time, Egypt was under the Persian occupation. And the 27th dynasty that ruled Egypt at that time, it was a Persian dynasty. Because we had found in one of the temples, which is the temple of Hebes in the Dakhla oasis, that dates back to that period, the picture of Emperor Ahasuerus, and he is represented as a pharaoh. So he was the first foreign ruler to declare himself as the pharaoh of Egypt. Despite of all that, everything in Egypt did not change. It stayed the same. The cult, the life, art and architecture. The Persians, they came to conquer Egypt, but Egypt had conquered them with its civilization. So you will find that these tombs are considered to be a very important document that registers for such a vague and unclear historical period like the Persian period during that time. And as a matter of fact, all the sarcophagi were intact, were discovered intact, and they were considered, and they did not only discover just sarcophagi, but they discovered also mummified animals.
Yes, of course, I can remember this. But does the discovery tell about the secret of the mummification?
Well, up till now, we are still researching about the mummification because, as you know, everything has to be experimented. So part of the experiment is to put the discovery under the same condition. Yes. Okay, the mummification oils and the mummification material that was used, they had stayed intact for thousands of years.
Yes.
So we have to wait for thousands of years to see if what we had discovered will work or not, which I think it's impossible. So up till now, mummification is still a big question mark, despite that we had discovered lots of secrets of mummification, but still it's one of the very big secrets of the ancient Egyptians, and actually we have to stay amazed in front of their civilization and their art.
Yes, Mr. Kamel, do we expect more discoveries to be unearthed in the Saqqara district in the coming period?
By all means, yes.
Yes.
Saqqara is a gigantic necropolis. This it will take years, and I'm not really exaggerating if I say decades, to be able to say that we had discovered all what has been buried over there in Saqqara, and yet there are no guarantees there might be more that's discovered. The ancient Egyptian civilization, it's extended for a long time period. You're talking for more than 2,800 years.
Yes.
So that shows that there will be more and more to be discovered.
Yes. So, Mr. Kamel, what are the other discoveries and excavation work that took place during the year 2023?
This time we will go further south to Luxor. As you know, Luxor is the archaeological capital of ancient Egypt. First of all, the discovery of new tombs in Asasif near the temple of Hatshepsut.
Yes.
Of course, there had been tombs discovered in this area of Asasif. However, they had discovered more tombs in that area dating back to the 26th dynasty, to the Saitic period, which was a period of renaissance to the ancient Egyptian civilization that had grown old and started aging, but this dynasty had revived back this civilization back to life. Actually, the tombs were discovered extremely intact, and that was after a long time. We thought that Asasif had nothing to offer, especially that it's not a very big cemetery. And all the tombs that were discovered over there, they were dating back to the New Kingdom, mostly 18th dynasty.
Yes. So also, I would like to ask you, Mr. Ihab Kamel, concerning the excavation work that took place in the year 2023. Was it the foreign mission or the Egyptian mission who was carrying the excavation work, or both with each other in cooperation with the the Egyptian and the foreign missions?
Actually, it's all of that. You had, for example,
hello?
Hello? Can you hear me?
Mr. Ihab Kamel?
Yes, hello? I'm here. I'm there.
Hello, Mr. Ihab?
Hello? Hello?
Hello, Mr. Ihab?
Hello?
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Yes,
yes
okay.
I can.
Okay, my question for you, Mr. Ihab Kamel, about the excavation work and the discoveries that took place during the year 2023. The mission that was carrying the excavation work, was it an Egyptian mission or a foreign mission, or a cooperation between both Egyptian and foreign mission?
Some expeditions were foreign, some expeditions were Egyptian, and some had joint expeditions between both sides. So not all of them were foreign expeditions, yes. Some were Egyptians, and since few years now, and there has been a trend which makes me really satisfied and satisfies my national pride, that there are Egyptian expeditions now that are making mega discoveries.
Yes, like the discoveries in Saqqara was mainly Egyptian mission.
Mainly Egyptian,
yes.
And that satisfies, no, I don't think only me, I think it satisfies our national pride, because it makes us proud that we have young, ambitious archaeologists who are coming up now with great discoveries and great excavations. And I think this is something that will add a lot to the new generations, because we need new generations to continue what the early Egyptian archaeologists had started.
Yes. So, Mr. Kamel, also, what would the discoveries of the year 2023 would add to the map of tourism in Egypt?
Well, you have in Luxor, for example, the discovery of the New Kingdom tombs in the Abu Naga. We have to understand that these tombs, and the tombs that dates back to the Second Intermediate Period, the Second Intermediate Period also in the Abu Naga. Actually, the Second Intermediate Period, or the 13th dynasty, it's actually also a very vague and a very unclear period in the Egyptian history. Also, the discovery of the 17th dynasty kings, the early 17th dynasty kings, like the father of King Sqin and Ra, and the tomb and the discovery of the pyramid of his mother, Queen Tetisheri in Abydos, revealing a lot of information about the early New Kingdom, or let's say the Second Intermediate Period before the war with the Hyksos. And that might reveal lots of information about the Hyksos period and about the Second Intermediate Period that led to the Hyksos occupation. And we have to understand that the Abu Naga was considered to be the first, or the place that had the first royal tomb in the New Kingdom, where the tomb of King Sqin and Ra was located, and the tomb of King Ahmose, the founder of the 18th dynasty. The Abu Naga is one of the very important places in the West Bank of Luxor, especially that the Valley of the Kings did not appear until the time of King Thutmose I. So the kings, or the founders of the 18th dynasty, they were buried in the Abu Naga, because at that time the idea of the Valley of the Kings did not exist. Also, the discoveries of their pyramids in Abydos. For the first time, we see kings from the 18th dynasty, they are building pyramids. Yes, they're not gigantic pyramids, true, but they are building pyramids, and where? In Abydos. And the pyramid of Queen Tetisheri, this was the last pyramid that was ever built for an Egyptian queen. So also in Luxor, we have the great discovery that was discovered under the house of Yassa Pasha on Draus. This house, I know it very well because it's almost inside Luxor Temple, overlooking the Corniche, and I know the house very well. And once they took the permit and they brought it down, they discovered a full Roman settlement that was located in this area, with lots of artifacts and amphoras and other tools that were discovered under this house. And this was in Luxor as well. And in the West Bank, they discovered a full town that was found there intact, that was discovered by Dr. Zahi Hawass. And then they discovered another Roman district with its houses, with its streets and alleys in the West Bank of Luxor. So basically speaking, I believe that Luxor still has got a lot to reveal, and it really helps us a lot to study the Egyptian history from different perspectives throughout the different historical periods. Also, yes, in Menia, there had been lots of important discoveries in Tun al-Gabal, dating back to very early period, for a priest, the tomb of a priest who had lived during the New Kingdom. And for a very long time, we used to think that Tun al-Jabal was related to the Greco-Roman period, but the revealing or the discovery of this tomb indicates that Tun al-Jabal had been part of the Egyptian history, as well as that the cult itself stayed the same from the very ancient times until the Greco-Roman period. And this had helped us a lot to understand the development of the religious life in Middle Egypt during the New Kingdom. Actually, we're talking about mega discoveries that will change the touristic map of Egypt. And I think we need all that because the numbers are increasing, and we need to open more archaeological sites to release the pressure from the classical sites that are opened at the moment.
Yes, I thank you very much for your time. Thank you for your valuable information. I really had the pleasure to have this phone with you. Thank you, Mr. Ihab Kamel, historian and Egyptologist. Thank you very much for joining us over the phone. Ladies and gentlemen, a short break, and I'm going to be back with you.